What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at My Cowboys Family, and hop in the Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below.
As we get it kicked off here, guys, schedule release is out and done. If you guys didn't see it already, check out our earlier video earlier tonight. The entire schedule is laid out for you guys, game by game. The wife does a great job going through each one of those matchups in a quick format. And now we're going to dive a little deeper in the schedule release and what it means for our Dallas Cowboys in 2023. We'll go over that and a couple other little things here. It'll be a quicker stream tonight. But before we can get rolling and going here, baby, yes, we got to do the shout-outs to those that make the world go round here, My Cowboys Family.
Yes, and in this particular case, the sponsor of the week and the Cash App King are one and the same. Give it up to Mr. Stewart. Ooh. Much love to you. Appreciate you, of course, as always, for your love and support here at MCF.
Yes, appreciate Mr. Stewart, who is rocking that top spot this entire week. But we do have a couple different people leading the way currently on the board for this week. And with the Cash App side of things, it's none other than Mr. Jason Renfro. Much love to Jason Renfro, the Cash App leader currently. And he was the overall leader on this board. And when we said goodnight a couple nights ago, but he is the leader in the Cash App. No joking there, but he is in second place currently on the overall board because we had a couple pre-stream drops of love from above, specifically the man staying skeptical. Much love to Skeptical Fan, who dropped a pre-stream $2 holler and a big thumbs up, and also another gifted membership, and this one went to that person you know. Got a navy blue membership from the man Skeptical Fan, who, again, guys, if you look at the board over at the top there's a couple other shout outs I got to give. We kind of added a couple things. Oh, we have some are just old school, like the star level members. Two of them are repping the spot here, My Cowboys Family, in that star level membership portion of our channel. Skeptical Fan is one of them, and Lincoln Kane. I mean, we got guys here in America, we got guys all the way in Australia repping that star over everything. And if you look at the gifting leaders, we have a monthly gifting leader. Again, these are the ones that are membership. Any membership, you can gift other memberships to other people that don't have them. Skeptical Fan has 14. He's leading the way. Scorpio has 1. Much love to him. Skeptical Fan leading the way with 14. So much love to all you guys on all the boards, as well as the stream boss, which is run by the man all the way from Hawaii, Mark Hovsepian, 89 points. Much love to him. Now, you can see we got super chats, we got memberships rolling in, so we got all those ways of kind of helping out the channel. But baby, what are the other 4 ways? Before we had that stuff, And now that we got it back, it's great. But how are other ways people can help out the channel through other means, so to speak?
You have the Cash App, $MoneySign@MyCowboysFamily, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, a regular PayPal link, and of course, the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up right here on screen like a super chat.
Yep. Again, appreciate everybody who's done this in those 3 months of dark times here on YouTube for us, but also those that continue doing it through there and through all those other ways, membership, super chats, etc., etc. The membership information is pinned in the chat, also in the description. Super chat, well, it's right there for you. And again, gifting memberships a new thing. If you're in the membership, you can gift memberships randomly to anybody in the chat as that's currently in here. So appreciate all you guys that have done that and keep this thing growing. The family grows every day with your love and support, guys. So thank you on that side of things. But now to our beautiful faces. Yes, we're back to cartoon MCF and MCW, but we're here to discuss our very important newly released Dallas Cowboys schedule. What are some of the records you think you're going to see? I want to know what you guys think. I want to know which games or games you guys are going to be going to or maybe try to go to this year. We'll do all that and more here at My Cowboys Family. But first, let's get those shout-outs, baby. Who's in the house tonight on MCF?
We have Bruce got the toxic juice. What's up? Scorpio representing. House Nelson in the house. Skeptical fan always staying skeptical. We have Wes Robinson, hello and hi. David Lara representing. Let's see, Tammy Soltis, much love to you. Raymond Solis in the house saying, let's go Cowboys. Dallas Fan 9, what's up? Dwayne Broussard, the top dog himself. We have, let's see who else is here. Choctaw Montana 808, much love to you. See, Thomas Garrett, the superior. Garrett. That person you know, who by the way was the lucky winner of that bonus membership there. Rolando Rodriguez, what's up? Hello and hi. So, baby, we got Bobby Garrett in the house, the other Garrett, of course.
Another superior Garrett.
And, but yeah, baby, I think that's everyone here so far, so let's go ahead and get rolling.
All right, let me get rolling. Just in the quick NFL news that came out, most of the stuff came out yesterday. A little bit of Cowboy flavor in here. What I mean by that is, first and foremost, tight end Foster Moreau, who I thought was an option for the Cowboys after Dalton Schultz left. He had a diagnosis of Hodgkin's lymphoma earlier this year, and he basically said instead of trying to look for some teams, he said he's going to just take the year off. That's changed, guys. Again, we got Luke Schoonmaker, and I said he compares to Foster Moreau, formerly of the Vegas Raiders, now, of course, nowhere. And then yesterday he got signed to the New Orleans Saints. They agreed to terms on a 3-year, $12 million deal. $8 million of that is guaranteed, and $3 million, the rest of it is $3 million of that deal is in incentives. Good deal for him after, of course, getting diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. But he is positively going the right way on that, and he's recovering and he's planning to play in 2023. So that's great news for him.
Great news all the way around.
Yeah, great news. Yeah, Tennessee Titans. We played them last year, second to the last game of the year, Thursday Night Football. Quarterback Malik Willis was the guy running the show there. But first, let's hear what the man who stays skeptical had to say with his monthly membership comment. Let me have it, baby.
Ooh, thank you, skeptical fan. Much love. He said, "Do you think the Cowboys have a huge learning curve with the new West Coast system?"
Great question. I mean,
if you take some of McCarthy's comments to heart, we're only changing about 20 to 30%. So it's not a complete system overhaul. So hopefully, it is adaptable to some of the guys that have been here already. And the good thing is our new rookies, they don't know anything else, right?
Yeah, and I think also you got to remember that a lot of the stats I read out here, sometimes it is comparing it to how some of the keys of a West Coast offense, and the depth of the passes you're getting, the quickness of release. These things are just things that you have to kind of learn. But I think the players will pick it up fast, just because the guys that we brought in here are made. A lot of these guys like Brandon Cooks and a couple other guys, you could say Tony Pollard. A lot of the guys we either kept or brought in are here for West Coast offensive purposes. Again, you said 20 to 30. I think it was 25. I'm sorry, it was 30 to 35% was what McCarthy had last said. That was going to be the change, and we don't know how much of a change is going to be West Coast offense. But let's just say even 30%, 25% is West Coast offense. It's not full West Coast offense, so the players will be able to handle that quarter, I think, and pick it up pretty fast, learn it. And again, these players are almost geared for this. You all right, baby? I'm hearing a scraping of the mic, I think.
That is the dog.
Ah, the pup in the house. But
I can mute myself if you want. That's fine.
no, I'm just going to say that the players we have brought in are made for the West Coast office. I think they'll take to it like fish to water. How about that? And I think that Dak and a couple other guys got to learn. Some of these receivers got to learn, but I think that if it's 100%, it might have been more difficult. I think 25% change, we're good. I think they're good. Players can adapt. I think that's a good thing. So I hear you, Skeptical, and thank you for the drops there. Again, he's dropping the knowledge, the love. Appreciate you, star level member, and number one gifter here on My Cowboys Family. It's the Skeptical Fan Hour right now. So thank you, bro. Appreciate you on that. And I think we answered the question. Now, last year we played Malik Davis when we played the Tennessee Titans quarterback. Malik Willis, not Malik Davis. Malik Willis was there with the Tennessee Titans, and he looked pretty good. He's going to maybe start. Everyone's talking about it. Maybe he should start over everybody. Hey, right now with the fact that they got Ryan Tannehill and they drafted Will Levis in the one of the first picks there in the second round, it looks like Malik Willis is the odd man out, and he's going to be released probably. Again, what I've heard is that, again, he's going to probably be released. The Tennessee Titans do not keep more than 2 quarterbacks on their active roster. So a lot of people are saying that there might be a chance for the Dallas Cowboys to go and have some interest in picking up quarterback Malik Willis. I actually wouldn't mind that. I think he would fit well as the other option to Cooper Rush. If he can beat out Cooper Rush, then we got ourselves a more adaptable quarterback for this team, for this scheme. So Malik Willis, if he's released, don't be surprised if our Dallas Cowboys go and take a look at him. We know there's a lot of reports, guys, back in the 2022 draft when Malik Willis was drafted, the Cowboys had interest in him back in the draft. The Cowboys are going to revisit that if he's released. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye and ear on that. And then the last NFL news piece here, Ezekiel Elliott, a little update. Now we heard about the Bucs are the only other team, the Cowboys and the Bucs are the only 2 teams interested in Zeke as of this moment. And former running back coach of the Cowboys, current running back coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Skip Peete. Anyone's going to know it's going to be him, right? Skip Peete said he believes that Ezekiel Elliott has to accept that his role on a new team would take him from basically being a $12 million running back per year to a $4 million running back per year. And he elaborated on that by saying, quote, "So who's going to be the one to tell him?" End quote. And that's per Skip Peete. Now, I think Ezekiel Elliott more than knows this already. He knows that he ain't no $12 million running back anymore. He knows this. It's just about, will he accept the $4 million? And I'm talking about like when incentives hit and everything, it's probably going to be $4 million after incentives. So, $2 million base, $2 million worth of incentives. If the Cowboys match that, and they could, he could choose between the Cowboys and the Bucs. Now, I'm pretty sure if it's a similar number, he's staying in Dallas. But again, that's only if Jerry Jones wants to do that. The word is he does. And it's only if Zeke wants to do that. The word is he doesn't have many options. So we'll see what happens. Skip Peete, though, a connection there to Zeke and formerly of the Cowboys. That connection saying Zeke has to accept that $8 million pay cut, basically. So,
he has 2 choices. He can either accept the pay cut or retire.
Yeah, or he ain't playing for any team.
Exactly.
So he's got to make up his mind about if he's going to take that pay cut. So now moving on to the more Cowboy-centric stuff. Today there was actually someone released, but not a player. The Cowboys Director of Football Research, Tom Robinson, no longer with the Cowboys as of today, guys. It officially was announced today, but this move, he knew about it. He was already out of the office prior to the draft. Why is this important? Well, again, Director of Football Research. What does that mean? Tom Robinson was the head of this. He is basically an analytics veteran who had been with the Cowboys for before Mike McCarthy. So we had this guy in there as an analytics, the head of analytics department for the Cowboys for the last 10 years, and he is gone. Which tells me it's a big deal. His background in sports science and injury prevention is a big deal for the Cowboys, and he was there. And he also, again, he had his team, the people that were underneath him, focused on player scouting and preparing advanced reports for upcoming opponents. All those analytics from this head guy out the door. He said this, this was a couple of years ago, he said this about what his job entails. Quote, within my group's areas of responsibility, we're focused on scouting. That's both pro scouting for free agency, college scouting for the draft. We're also helping our coaches with advanced work on opponents. In addition, we have a big sports science focus. End quote. I'm going to just say one thing here about this entire situation, because you think of analytics, right, baby? And you're thinking, oh, Mike McCarthy, he's getting, they're going to kick him out the door, right, Mike McCarthy. But I think this is a pre-Mike McCarthy hire. I don't think this guy, Tom Robinson, meshed well with McCarthy's style of analytics and doing things. I think it's a combination of probably both. What do you think?
I was in the chat talking about Zeke real quick.
Oh, okay. Well, that was a big waste of time. No, what I'm saying is that this guy runs the analytics department for the Cowboys, scouting wise, everything. He was not involved in this draft. And you hear out of analytics, a guy getting fired from analytics, you say, oh, it must be a Mike McCarthy thing. But it's been 10. This guy's been with the Cowboys for 10 years. Are you following me?
To me, overall, we've seen McCarthy kind of overhaul the analytics department. So I'm just assuming that, kind of like Skeptical fans' earlier comment, if we're moving our offense in a more West Coast direction, maybe some of the analytics or some of the measurements or metrics or however we're doing things obviously has to change.
Well, and again, I think I think McCarthy's style of analytics, again, if he had brought this guy in, I'd say it's more McCarthy better watch his ass moment. But which he still has to watch his ass anyways. But I think this is a more McCarthy saying, we don't need this analytic guy. I like the way these guys do it, not the head of the analytics department. And that's a big deal because he's been there. He was a Garrett hire, a Jerry hire. You know what I'm saying? This is 10 years ago, not 3 years ago when we hired McCarthy. And I see House Nelson asking how many years. He's got this year and next year. He's on a 5-year deal. So he has this year and then one more year left on his contract. Mike McCarthy does. So I just wanted to say that. So I'm just saying he's definitely shaking things up on the analytics side, getting rid of a guy here or I guess helping get rid of a guy who seemed to either be not useful for the Cowboys right now and McCarthy's analytics team, or maybe an overpay guy that you just don't need too many guys. You can trim some of the fat, so to speak.
Sorry, interesting choice of words there since we're talking about McCarthy's
McCarthy's right on the screen there. Any quick thoughts on that? I think it's more of a McCarthy say than it is like a McCarthy in trouble kind of thing.
I agree, but I also want to point out, McCarthy has quite a lot of say in the building because before this would have been a unilateral front office decision, right? This would be Jerry and Steven letting go of this guy because they wanted to, not because the coach requested politely.
Yeah, especially in the coach's field of expertise, supposedly, what he brought over. He brought in his own analytics team, and they still kept this guy on the Cowboys side. So now this guy's gone.
So, but yeah.
So, anyways, let me keep it rolling here because got a couple of things before we get to the schedule, and that is a quick little words here on our guy here, Micah Parsons. Now, you saw we're gonna talk about the Deuce in a minute too. Actually, it's funny, but Micah Parsons, guys. Over the last 2 years since he was a rookie, the most quarterback pressures in the NFL, 182 from Max Crosby, Nick Bosa 165, and then Micah Parsons with 157. Myles Garrett 151, Chris Jones 142. Oh, wait, we got a drop going, and it's the man, Brandon James Shea with that 5 on it.
Ooh,
what did Brandon have to say?
Thank you, Brandon. Much love. He said, on Wednesday, the Chiefs signed cornerback Lamar Jackson to go with defensive tackles Matt Dickerson and Chris Williams to make room on the roster. Yeah. Oh, okay. No, I was saying that's it. Okay. Well, again, Lamar Jackson, not that Lamar Jackson, right? The cornerback Lamar Jackson, AFC. We're going to talk about the Chiefs in a minute because we actually do play them this year. Yeah, that'd be a funny mistake to make.
And we're going to beat them this year. Just saying. So, anyways, thank you, Brandon. Appreciate that. I know you had one of his drops through the PayPal thing kind of fall off, so I just want to let him know for that reason and appreciate the 5 on it. I'll update the board shortly. Mark's down to 83 points on that stream, boss. So, again, appreciate that. And let's keep it rolling here because I'm talking about Micah Parsons for a reason. Micah, again, when you look at the pressures against, any defensive player on the field the last 2 years, the most pressures against the most pressured quarterbacks, the guy who's pressured the most quarterbacks the last 2 years, Max Crosby's first, 182 of those. And then Nick Bosa at 165. But then Micah at 157. Myles Garrett, 151. Chris Jones, 142. The reason this is important, I know Micah's third. Whoa, whoop-de-doo. Guys, Micah has like 200 or even 300 or more less pass rushing snaps than the other four guys I just mentioned. Chris Jones, all he does is pass rush. Myles Garrett, all he does is pass rush. Nick Bosa, all he does is pass rush. And Max Crosby, all he does is pass rush. Micah, of course, this last year he pass rushed, I think, all but 190-something snaps. But, of course, his rookie year, he had about split time there, right? So I think Micah Parsons, I mean, you look at, he is currently, as far as getting to the quarterback, pressuring the quarterback, he's like 30 back on Max Crosby, but he also has over 200 snaps less. Imagine if he had those 200 snaps. I think Mike could be number one in the NFL. That's just me. And when you see that, along with what you saw today, again, if you guys have been searching the world out there on Twitter or whatever, you're seeing Andrew Whitworth. You guys know Andrew Whitworth from the LA Rams, formerly of them, because he retired, of course, Super Bowl champion, but currently working on NFL Prime right now. Micah Parsons working hard, doing this thing out there against Andrew Whitworth, who's an all-time great, offensive lineman. Working with him on what? Pass rushing skills. Exactly what I'm talking about, getting to that quarterback. Micah Parsons, if you watch the video, guys, he was leveraging a lot of that wrestling knowledge that he's been gaining. You see him boxing. You see him doing a lot of quickness stuff with his hands. Guys, this is what it's for. Partially what it's for here is being able to use that, put it all together, and then make that bend, that turn around that offensive tackle. I'm telling you, when you watch the video clip of this out there, Micah was basically using that wrestling knowledge and then used the sneaky arm drag rushing move to, again, on Whitworth. And Whitworth, a great, maybe a Hall of Famer, he was shocked. You can see in his face, he's like, whoa, where did he go? This ain't great. I know he's older, but this guy was fooled. This veteran offensive tackle was fooled by little old Micah Parsons here entering his third year of NFL. So, again, I thought that kind of goes in line with everything I was saying about the pass rushing. Micah, he's the best pass rusher of everyone. If you give him an extra 200 snaps, he'd be better than Max Crosby and Bosa when it comes to hitting the quarterback, pressuring the quarterback, and all those numbers. We know it. We all know it. Now, switching gears for a quick second, I'm going to go to the rookies here because, again, Micah erased little man Deuce. Remember that? We talked about it yesterday in detail. The picture, they had the video up there. Deuce Vaughn, rookie, sixth-rounder, running back, 5'5", 176. The reason I'm mentioning him is because he, like everybody else, all these rookies, they're all getting ready for tomorrow's rookie minicamp. It kicks off tomorrow. And there's a video out there, pictures of Deuce Vaughn putting on that helmet, getting sized up for it, getting fitted for the helmet, which is a thing that happens all the time this week, right before rookie minicamp hits, which is tomorrow officially. So this week, Deuce Vaughn and the other rookies trying on helmets, shoulder pads, and everything to make sure it feels comfortable, ready to go for the first day of on-the-field practice tomorrow for these young guns, these rookies. And I'm excited to see what they can do. And, speaking of these rookies, baby, it's not just Deuce we're talking about here. I cover myself up. Deuce still is standing there, but it's also about other guys that are getting signed. And you're saying, what? Who's getting signed already? Well, let's start it off with this guy, number 37. Earlier today, I don't know if you know this, baby. Earlier today, or actually I think it was yesterday, the Cowboys had a deal in place with 6th-round pick that we traded up for him, Eric Scott Jr. Of course, with rookie minicamp tomorrow, we try to get as many of these guys signed before camp begins tomorrow, right?
But I'm still trying to figure out what Eric did to become such a high priority, but I digress.
First guy that was signed, Eric Scott Jr., the guy we traded up for, right? He got a signing bonus, $218,308. That's only relevant for one little reason, because most of these guys got a similar pay like that. You look at 2nd-round pick, tight end Luke Schoonmaker. He agreed right after this deal was put through. He agreed on a 4-year contract with the Dallas Cowboys. That's through his agency put that out. So now you're saying Luke Schoonmaker, you got Eric Scott Jr. They're both been attained, and again, we drafted them, we signed them, they're ready to go. Right after that signing, reports are coming out that the Cowboys were very confident that they had a good chance to sign all 8 members of this draft class, of the drafted guy, not the undrafted guys, before the weekend is over, meaning by the end of rookie camp. And then we heard another name come out, 1st-round pick number 26, defensive tackle Mozzie Smith. Mozzie Smith got a fully guaranteed $13.274 million deal for a 4-year deal with a 5th-year option. $6.654 million of that was a signing bonus. So he got his money locked up as a first-round pick for the 4-year deal, 13 plus, a little $13 million, a little over $13 million for him. And literally at the same time that came out, baby, every single player that we drafted, all 8 guys, were signed by the Dallas Cowboys. Mozzie Smith, Luke Schoonmaker, DeMarvion Overshone, Junior Fehoko, Asim Richards, Eric Scott Jr., Deuce Vaughn, and Jalen Brooks. All these guys were signed to their 4-year contract.
Something about that is just like weirdly aggressive.
Yeah, the Cowboys wanted them all locked up. Why? Because tomorrow we open rookie minicamp, tomorrow Friday. So it's on like Donkey Kong. These guys are fully signed, sealed, and delivered. We're good to go. We're good. We're great to go. I like it. I love this. Any quick thoughts on this? We got all our guys signed, sealed. In one day, everyone done. Boom. In the door, out the door. We're ready to go for the rookie minicamp. What do you think?
Now, again, this is, like I said, it's surprisingly aggressive. We know the Cowboys love their rookies, but it also makes me think, are they doing that to kind of get all the rookie salaries out of the way because they still have plans to make 1 or 2 more small moves to the roster? Additions, maybe? Just throwing that out there, right?
Oh, great. That's why I put Jerry Jones on there. You never know. Jerry and his little son there, Stevie Jones. We'll see what happens. But yeah, you never know. Except things could happen. One last thing I want to say, talking about all these guys, I guess I'll kind of focus a little bit here on McCarthy. And I'll take the rookies down for a second because, and this is the reason, baby, we talked about the in-game analytics, in-game, agilities, where you can tell when it comes to their in-game athleticism. And we talked about how Scott was one of the higher ranked guys, Eric Scott Jr. But we also got a note today from our running back, Tony Pollard. Through Real Analytics, and we talked about them the other day, Tony Pollard reached a maximum speed of 20.6 miles per hour on a 70-yard run. If you guys recall it, against the Vikings, we were up 23-3, and then we ended up being up 30-3. It was still early in the third quarter when this happened. Pollard got a 70-yard touchdown reception run after catch, 20.6 miles per hour. Take Tony Pollard and pair him with Deuce Vaughn. I just talked about him. He's been clocked at over 21 miles per hour. If you look at these two guys running the ball, especially catching the ball at the backfield, you're looking at maybe the most explosive backfield in the NFL. If Deuce pans out to be that guy, and Tony Pollard, if they're both used properly, I think it's going to be a very explosive backfield. A 1-2 punch, a little different than before. When a power guy, now we got 2 scat back kind of, quick, fast guys that are really hard to stop once they get in the open field. So, thought that was interesting. Now, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, just House Nelson's comment made me laugh. He's like, yes, I'm ready to drink that rookie minicamp Kool-Aid too. Hey, my glass is ready. Oh, okay. Sorry, I was lost for a second there. But guys, let me take a quick second here to say, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and hop into the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
Sorry, there you go. All right. So, and I'm staying with. Thank you for that, baby. By the way, I also. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it just this is unfortunately the part of the stream where I am going to exit stage left.
All right. I mean, all right. I was gonna get right up to.
I mean, baby,
I know. It's
over
time.
30 minutes.
I know, baby. I know. It's a big day for the wife, baby. You want to tell them why?
Yeah, I'm sure you guys know, but the new Zelda game released, and I have been very patiently waiting to play it. So I'm just very, very excited to get to it, guys. So.
And again, it was released literally like an hour ago or so, hour and a half ago. So my point is that she's been getting all the updates, and I think you got them all set in stone now. We'll talk about it later. I mean, I wanted to hear your thoughts on the schedule, but I understand we'll have to get them another day. So, all right, baby. I guess
that's why everybody's just going to have to come back tomorrow.
Go Cowboys and.
But yes, always go Cowboys, and baby, much love. Have a great stream.
Yes, you have fun.
Thank you.
All right, so as we keep it rolling here, I would love to keep you on screen like that. But the thing is, guys, if you look at...
That might be possible. I'm going to disappear and I'll come right back.
All right, no problem. I'll be here.
Okay.
So, guys, just an idea. You guys, I was talking about when it came to Mike McCarthy, and talking a little bit about him, guys. Right now, half of the NFL teams in the NFL have new offensive play callers this year. 16 new offensive coordinators are entering their first year with their new team right now. Like Kellen Moore, right? He counts on one of those 16. He's going to a new team, right? So when an NFL team gets a new play caller, right? That is, how does that work out for the team that year? Again, 16 new offensive coordinators starting their first year with their team, including us, because that's Brian Schottenheimer. 25 teams have an offensive coordinator who was hired within the last 16 months. So even if they're not brand new, they're still here basically from last year. So they're still young, new offensive coordinators. That's 25 out of 32 teams. And I know we're one of them. We got Brian Schottenheimer, who's the coordinator. We got the play caller, who's Mike McCarthy. The point I'm trying to make here is turnover. The turnover for offensive coordinators is quick. You'll see a lot of turnover on that coaching spot. But it really comes down to one or the other. Either they get promoted to a head coach as an offensive coordinator, or they are fired. There's really no middle ground on that, right? So, Kellen Moore got fired, but he luckily got picked up and made a lateral move to the LA Chargers. When you got other guys on here, other teams out there that are constantly switching offensive coordinators. Now, we have to switch our offensive coordinator, but the guy taking over who's really making the play calling is Mike McCarthy. So that's why, in my opinion, it's in this case for us, it's why you hire a head coach who calls the offensive playbook. If you really want continuity, that's probably your best bet. That's maybe your best bet. So that's how I look at that. Now, schedule is out, official. And again, you guys already saw our video from earlier. You will know it. I mean, here's the full schedule. You can see it there. But McCarthy's like, I'm staying in the way of this thing. But as I clear it, and you can see the whole schedule there, we'll go through this one by one, and I will shout them out. I do want to say one thing, so we'll talk about Kellen Moore for a quick second. I do want to say, and again, we did replace him with Brian Schottenheimer, as you can see there. The Chargers had a great, I don't know if you saw our Cowboy schedule announcement from the Cowboys website. Clever. It was good. I enjoyed it. And Jerry Jones being like an old coach wagon there. It was just a whole thing. You got to watch it. But without question, I love my Cowboys, the best of all time, and my favorite team of all time, any sport. But the best, the best announcement, a schedule announcement by a team was done by the LA Chargers once again. Kellen Moore's team there. I mean, the way they used the anime again. They did the whole thing on showing how they play each team. Wait till you see the one they did with the Cowboys. Just check it out, guys. Trust me on that. Another great one. I would check out a couple of them, of these different team announcements for their schedules, but the Chargers are the best. And of course, you must have watched the Cowboys already, right? Right. So let's kind of get this thing going on, and I'm going to move this. So I'm going to get Brian Schottenheimer out the way, and I guess I'll have to cover my face up here. You get the wife though. At least you get the wifey. So let me do this here and get Schottenheimer out of here, and I'm going to get the schedule here. I'll go half page here for you guys, and kind of go through it. Actually, you know what? I'll go full page first. Here's what we're going to do, guys. You see it there, week 1. Let's go through it here. You guys already know this, but if you don't, I'll go through it with you guys. I will go through the preseason schedule as well. But first, let me start with the regular season. We start off the season September 10th, Sunday Night Football again at the New York Giants on NBC. Then week 2, September 17th against the Jets on CBS at the later afternoon game. Week 3 at the Arizona Cardinals, September 24th. It's on Fox. And that's going to be another later, we only have 2 early games. So that's a later afternoon game on Sunday, October 1st. The Patriots come to Dallas, and it's on Fox. Another late afternoon one. October 8th, the Niners were at San Francisco on NBC. That's, of course, a night game, a Sunday night game. And definitely one that I am interested in. That's a payback game as far as I'm concerned when it comes to those damn Niners. Week 5, Week 6, Wait, did I jump that? Yeah, there it goes. Week 6, we got the LA Chargers, ESPN, and of course, Kellen Moore, right? We get more. On the October 16th, that's also a Monday Night Football game. And that's obviously all eyes on me in that one there between Dan Quinn and Kellen Moore. Then we get a little break. Now, I'm going to say those 2 weeks there on the road on the West Coast, it ain't going to be easy. You go back a couple weeks earlier, you got the Cardinals as well. You got all these West Coast teams in a span of 4 weeks. So it's going to be interesting on the road. So we get a bye week there, and a little bit of an early bye. I'll talk about that a little later. Then we get the Rams in Dallas on Fox, October 29th. Early game, one of our 2 early games this year on a Sunday. And we got November 5th, of course, Philly on Fox, afternoon game, later afternoon. Then we get the Giants on the 12th of November on Fox, and again, late afternoon game there. Carolina Panthers on Fox at Carolina, November 19th. And of course, as you see there, guys, week 11, that is also an early game. That's the only second early game. Again, so we get at home, we get one early game. That's the Rams. On the road, we get one early game. That's the Carolina Panthers. Then we get a bunch of Thursday games, guys. This week gets a little tougher here in the sense of the teams you gotta get scrunched up against here. A lot of games and a lot of days. We get the Carolina Panthers on November 19th. Then 4 days later, Thanksgiving, we get the Washington Commanders on CBS, not Fox, CBS this time at 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central. Thanksgiving game, of course, we always get that one. Then exactly a week later, another Thursday night game on November 30th, and that one is another home game on Prime, Amazon Prime. Thursday Night Football, 7:15 Central, 8:15 Eastern. The point here is 2 games on Thursday, both games, back to back. And then we get a nice 10-day break and get ready for resting up on NBC at home against the Philadelphia Eagles. As you can see there, we get Washington. You can't see the other one up top there, Seattle and Philly, all 3 teams at home, all 3 teams in a row. And again, yes, Carolina, a little tough there because you got to go on a 4-day, get Carolina, and then you get 4 days later, you got to go Washington. But at least you got 3 straight home games. That will help. And you get a nice break between the Seattle Seahawks game, which you can't see up there, and the Eagle game, which is, of course, much more important bird to defeat. Then we go on the road to the AFC East. 2 games in a row, back-to-back. December 17th at Buffalo. That one's on Fox. Chilly, late afternoon game. And then we get a at Miami game here closer to our side of the woods, our neck of the woods on Fox at Miami. A lot hotter in that game there, even though it is December 24th, and it is Christmas Eve. So that's a special game there in the afternoon against the Miami Dolphins on December 24th. December 30th, New Year's Eve, or I guess not New Year's Eve, we play at home in Dallas, our last regular season home game. It's on ESPN and ABC because it is a Saturday night game, the only Saturday night game currently on our schedule. The Detroit Lions there. That should be a pretty good one. And then the last game of the year, just like this last game of the year was at Washington. Same thing, at Washington. And just like this year, it's going to be on the 6th or the 7th. I think last year was the 7th or the 8th. We don't know yet. It's going to be either on Saturday or on Sunday. Don't know the time yet. It's going to be all about if it's a big, important game. You can bet your ass that game will probably be on a night game or at the very least an afternoon game if it means anything for the playoffs. If it doesn't mean anything, it'll be an early game. An early afternoon, those late morning, early afternoon games. So that is the complete schedule in every way I can show it to you guys. And I will say also, there's also a preseason schedule. Preseason schedule, guys. There's 2 games at home for us preseason because we only get 8 on the 8 at home in the regular season and 9 on the road. So in preseason we get 2 at home and 1 on the road. What does this mean? It means that week 1. We play at home. Again, this is kind of interesting. I'll explain why. We play at home week 1 in preseason against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Don't know the date. Don't know the time yet. Week 2 in preseason, we have to go out to Seattle to play the Seattle Seahawks. We got to play them in the preseason and the regular season. And then week 3, we got to come back to Dallas and play the Las Vegas Raiders for that final week of the preseason, which, we get about 10 days after that before we get to our first game. So what's the importance on this? Cowboys have to fly home from Oxnard for the Jacksonville Jaguar game, that week 1 game. We have to go from Oxnard in California, fly back to Dallas, play that game, and then return to California to finish up the last week of training camp, and then we go up to Seattle when we leave camp there, which is not far, and then back down to Dallas to get ready for the last game against the Vegas Raiders. That's what preseason is going to look like. So it's going to be a bit weird. The Cowboys are going to go from Oxnard to Dallas, back to Oxnard to Seattle, and then back to Dallas. That's crazy, but it is what it is. Now, you see the schedule here, the way this is looking. Times and dates were announced, and we have 6 prime time games, guys. 6 prime time games. Which ones? I'll repeat them for you here. You've seen the Giants game, week 1. The Niners game, week 5. The Eagles game, week 9. That's the 3 Sunday night games. You got 2 Monday night games. Well, 1 Monday night game, the Chargers. And then the same ESPN, they do the same thing. But we got the Detroit game, which is a Saturday night game. Remember, guys, there really is no Sunday night game except for the one big one. And there's no Monday night game that week. There is a Monday night game on the 17th, on the week 17. So, yeah, either way, we get the Saturday game, which is the Lions in Dallas. So, again, that one's set in books as well. The Chargers, the Lions on ESPN, ABC. Then we get, again, so that's 3 Sunday night games, 2 Monday night games, and we get 1 Thursday night game, the Seattle Seahawks. As you can see there right after Washington, which I bring that up because even though it doesn't count as technically a prime time game, guess you got to add Thanksgiving in that mix too, right? Because Thanksgiving against Washington is the only game on at that time slot. That's the prime time game. That's a nationally televised game. So right there, guys, we have 6 prime time games. It's truly 7 national games with no competition. We have 7 games. No matter where you live in the United States, you're getting the Dallas Cowboys 7 times out of 18 weeks. And out of 17 games, just saying, you're getting the Cowboys 7 times no matter where you're at. And you're probably going to get them another 5 times out of those last 10 games remaining. So again, when you look at this, guys, some early observations on this schedule. Cowboys right now, we're going to play 7 playoff teams. So for those that say we play easy schedule, rubbish. We're playing 7 playoff teams from last year. Of course, I said the 6 primetime games plus Thanksgiving. 4 out of our first 6 games. You see all the way up to that bye. 4 out of our first 6 games are on the road. Giants, Cardinals, Niners, and the Chargers on the road. And they're all before our bye. Then we get a little bye, a little break, a couple home games. And then we get a nice streak of home games there. And also, 3 out of the 4 road games we play to close out the season. So we start off with 4 out of the first 6 on the road. We end with 3 out of the last 4 on the road. It ain't going to be easy. There's some tough teams there in Buffalo, Miami, the Lions. Just saying, there's some tough teams there. And don't forget the Eagles before that. And, we get a couple home games there, but it's a tough-ass schedule. So I want to know what some of you guys think about this. We'll have to talk to the wife tomorrow to get her thoughts on this when it comes to the records you guys think. I want to know what you guys think in there as well. But also, as I said, the most primetime games, there's 4 teams that have the most. We're one of them, of course. The Cowboys have 6. The Kansas City Chiefs have 6. San Diego. The LA Chargers have 6, and the Buffalo Bills. All these 4 teams have 6 primetime games, of course. And I'm not sure if I know the Lions and somebody else play. I think the Niners and the Seahawks play after us on Thanksgiving. But that Thanksgiving game gives us truly 7, which means we really have the most primetime games. It's our Dallas Cowboys, baby. You know it. So, opening game against the Giants, guys. I'm going to say this. Cowboys, I know we always talk about it. The wife always jokes, it's always we always start against the Giants. The funny thing is, I'm going to do this here. The funny thing is that we haven't started against the Giants in a little bit of time here, guys. Let's be honest about it. Let me do this. I'm going to move myself a little bit closer to the wife. There you go. I'm just going to do that right there. So, you see me bouncing up and down. Guys, the Cowboys and Giants haven't opened up in the season against each other in 4 years. I truly thought it was, for some reason, I thought it was 2 years then. But I do remember the last time they opened was in 2019. That's when the wife and I went to that opening game that year. So, again, guys, this is the first time I would say that I know it's been a while since the Cowboys opened up in New York in the first game of the year. But it's actually going to be a much better matchup. Maybe since remember 2016 season? When Dak's rookie year, it was us and the Giants fighting it out. So, this is the first time since 2016, 2017 that it was going to be that we have a good opener. Giants Cowboys, you know what I mean? And again, Cowboys lost that first game in Dallas in Dak's rookie year, and we lost the second game in New York, which was in New York by like a field goal in that rookie year, and Dak hasn't lost since then. Keep that in mind. Now, when I say Dak, I mean a Dak-led Cowboy team hasn't lost to the Giants since that 2016 rookie year. Now, I do want to say another thing. 7th time in 12 years. It is the 7th, even though we haven't played the Giants in 4 years to open a season. This is the 7th time in 12 years that we have opened up against the Giants. But as I just said, Dak Prescott, when he's been the quarterback, the Cowboys have won 10 straight games against the New York Giants. Aaron Rodgers, week 2 there, guys. He's visiting the Cowboys. He is 4-0. Not just against us, but in the AT&T Stadium, because he got that win. That fourth one, he got 3 against us and 1 against the Steelers in the Super Bowl for the Green Bay Packers. So Aaron Rodgers, he owns us in AT&T Stadium. We broke the Tom Brady streak, week 2. Let's break the Aaron Rodgers streak. Kellen Moore, dropping all the way there. You look at week 6. We had talked about the ESPN Monday night game, the only true Monday night game we're getting. We got to beat the living crap out of Kellen Moore. Dan Quinn, time to step up to the plate and show us why you are the best defensive coordinator in the league, with the best defense hopefully in the league, and can take and pick apart this Kellen Moore. I don't give a damn who's throwing the ball, running the ball, catching the ball. Dan Quinn's scheme should be Kellen Moore's scheme. That's it. That's the way I look at it, and it has to happen. That's ESPN week 6 against the Chargers. Now, looking at that bye, you see that early bye. To me, that's a little bit on the earlier side. I wish it was week 10 or 11 or 12 rather than week 7. But it is what it is. You can't change that kind of crap. I'm going to say this when it comes to stretches. Tough stretches for the Cowboys. There's 2 tough stretches, I think. Well, at least definitely 2 difficult stretches for the Cowboys. And I already discussed one of them. Actually, I discussed both of them. But I'm going to start with the one I didn't touch up that much here. The one before the first bye. I talked about 4 games on the road out of 6 to open the season. But it's more about the Cardinals, West Coast. Niners, West Coast. Chargers, West Coast. 3 out of our 4 games on the road. The only home game is against the New England Patriots. But the other 3 games are against the NFC West or AFC West Coast teams. 2 of them are on prime time, that week 5 and 6 games. So to me, that 4-game stretch there, the Cardinals to the Chargers before that bye. I mean, we're talking about week 1 and 2 with 2 New York teams right off the bat. We got to handle business there. And the next 4 games, that's the stretch you got to watch. Don't sleep on the Patriots. But those 3 on the road games definitely, makes it a little tougher. That's to start the year. To end the year, again, we talk about that tough stretch with the Panthers, and then 4 days later the Washington game, and then 7 days later is that Seattle game. That's a tough stretch there, but not the toughest teams of all time. I'm going to be real, compared to the last 4 games on the schedule, which you get at Buffalo, at Miami, home against Detroit, not easy, and at Washington again against the divisional team. They beat us last year. They shouldn't do it this year if we're playing for something. But either way, you can't sleep on any of these teams. And again, those are the toughest stretches in my mind. You can throw in there the Carolina, Washington, Seattle weeks there. But, I think the Cowboys are used to it. Every team gets that right now pretty much at least once a season. They get a tough bunch of games because a lot of teams play Thursday night. Our Thursday night game, luckily, is buffered by the fact that we play the Thursday previously on Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving Thursday, Seattle Thursday. And we don't have to worry about being short on days except for that little stretch. So it's not a bad. Every team gets that 4-day stretch at this point. The 2 real tough stretches is those week 3 to 6 and week 15 to 16 to close the season before the postseason. So we're going to see what happens. The Niners on October 8th, at San Francisco, at the Bills on December 17th. Those are the highlight games, the true toughest games, I think, the ones I'm watching, the ones I'm circling. When it comes, you want to beat the best, the Eagles, of course, the Niners, and the Bills. That's what I'm looking at. Now, when you look at the actual point spread on this thing, point spreads, week 1, I'm just going to tell you right now, the Cowboys are almost at all times here favored. We're favored in 12 games as of today, right? We're favored in 12 out of the 17 games. Week 1, we're favored by 2 against the Giants. Week 2, we're favored by 1 against the Jets. Week 3, we're favored by 6.5. Week 4, we're favored by 3.5. Then we're underdogs against the Niners right now by 2. Also underdogs against Kellen Moore's Chargers by 1 bye week. Week 8, we're favorites by 6 against the Rams. Then we're underdogs at Philly. I guess that's understandable. Then week 10, back home against the Giants, we're favored by 4.5. We're favored by 3.5 against Carolina. We're favored by 5.5 over Washington. Favored by 3.5 over Seattle. And then favored by 1 over the Eagles. The last stretch here, the stretch run, that's where it gets a little tougher because we're underdogs in Buffalo, underdogs in Miami, underdogs in Buffalo by 4, underdogs in Miami by 1.5. We're favorites against the Lions by 2.5 points at home, and on the road, we're actually favorites against Washington. So that gives us a 12-5 record, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? 12 and 5 record is what it would give us here if we go by the point spread. Now, I don't really buy into the point spread, but right now, we're underdogs against the Niners, the Chargers, the Eagles, the Bills, and the Dolphins. Pretty fucking good teams. Let's be real about this. All road games, by the way. All 5 of these underdog games on the road. Also, all 5 of these teams playoff teams. So just laying it out for you guys. The facts are facts. I do think this. When you look at this whole... I'm going to go through my personal picks and thoughts on this, but you look at the strength of schedule. A lot of people like to look at that and say, well, it's not fair. Who gives a damn? I hope we have a tougher strength of schedule. But it doesn't really matter, guys, because this is off of last year's records. Means nothing for this year. The Eagles have the hardest strength of schedule. 56.6%. The Dolphins are next, 55.4. The Giants are next, 54.9. The Patriots are after them, 54.9, with the Cowboys at 54.9. Jets, 54.5. The Bills, 54.2. And then the Washington Commanders, 53.5. Anything sound familiar about those top 8 teams? They're all from the NFC or AFC East. There's a reason why we have the toughest schedules, guys. Well, last year the NFC East was the toughest team in the toughest division in the NFC, and last year the AFC East was the toughest division in the AFC. And we play each other this year, as you can tell by the schedule. The AFC plays the NFC East this year. So, of course, the Eagles, the toughest team, right? They have the toughest record because they had to play the tougher team. There's 3 different teams they play than us, the Giants, and Washington. So the Eagles, yeah, they have the hardest percentile as far as strength of schedule. The Giants are next in the NFC East. The Cowboys are 3rd, and Washington is 4th, all separated by a percentile. That's it. 1% is what, or percentages of percent is what they're. Baby, you guys understand. I'm looking at the wife on this. I'm talking to the wife here, but they are actually right now. We play the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Bills, and the Jets. Those are all in the top strength of schedule teams, and that's why we're all playing each other there. It is obvious why the strength of schedule is so high for us, so tough for us, the Washington, Giants, Philly, and the whole AFC East as well, because we play each other. And last year, some of the best records coming from there. So, I don't even care about the other teams. That's the strength of schedule story. And really, it's not even a story, honestly. But yes, it's not even a big deal. Strength of schedule is crap. Now, flying-wise, mileage-wise, Seattle Seahawks are traveling 31,600 miles this season. That's the most in the NFL. But if you look you look at the Cowboys, again, the Cowboys fall 11th most mile. They're going to be traveling the 11th most amount of miles than any other team in the NFL, which is, about right. You know why? We are usually almost always, the Cowboys are always the team that flies the most in the NFC East. We fly more miles than any other NFC East team in 2023, but that's the way it is every single year. Why? It's pretty simple. Pretty simple, guys. The Cowboys always travel more because the other NFC East opponents, because the journey from Dallas to Philly, Dallas to Washington, D.C., or Dallas to New York is significantly longer than if you go from Philly to New York, or from Washington to Philly. Those 3 places are touching each other, basically, guys. Cowboys got to go over 15 states. So I'm just trying to say, those teams make the trip to Dallas once a year, the Cowboys have to make the trip to the Northeast 3 times every year, no matter what. Hence why, almost always, the Cowboys will always have more mileage than the whole rest of the NFC East. Not cheating. It's the way that it is. Now, the final thing here before I give you my rundown and check your comments. I'm sorry, guys, because right now the wife is doing her thing, and I'm rolling here solo, so just hang with me here. Bear with me. But I just want to go through, we talk about mileage. You got teams that also got a lot of mileage on this list here that are probably over the Cowboys, like the Falcons and the Jaguars, because they're playing in London week 4. The Jaguars got more than anybody because, I guess Seattle does, but Jacksonville, close. And they're going to London twice. They're going to play the Bills in Tottenham. I'm sorry, they're going to play international games 2 times for them. The Ravens at the time, that was week 5, by the way. Week 4 is Falcons at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Week 5, Jacksonville at the Bills in Tottenham. Then in week 6, Ravens at the Titans in Tottenham. Week 9, the Dolphins at the versus the Chiefs in Frankfurt, and week 10, the Colts versus the Patriots in Frankfurt, Germany. So, what does this mean for the Cowboys? No international games for the Cowboys this year, which we knew. We haven't played on the road, or I'd say abroad, I guess you could say. We haven't played outside of the United States since 2014 when we went to London, and we beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, Des Bryant. The only chance that the Cowboys had to travel to overseas game would have been against the Bills, which, again, as you can see, it's a prime game. They're not going to give that game away to London. So that game will be in Orchard Park, New York in December there. So there was no chance of us outside of that game being the Bills, because, again, the Bills, they have to play in week 5 in Tottenham. They're getting the Jacksonville Jaguars, who is willing to play anywhere, it seems like, except for Jacksonville. But either way, no game for the Cowboys internationally, which we kind of expected here. But if the Cowboys, if you want to know why the Cowboys are left off the international schedule so often, it's you got to follow the dollar bills, y'all. You got to follow the money, guys. Jerry Jones is not going to give up a home game ever. He makes too much money for Jerry at AT&T Stadium, and most opponents, really all the opponents the Cowboys play, have little interest in giving up a sold-out home game in their stadium, like the Bills, and give that money away in another, forum or another, stadium. No, they want to keep that in Orchard Park, New York. Last year, Green Bay Packers could have played us in London. Who cares? They wanted us in Green Bay. So I'm just saying, like, this makes, again, the Cowboys will rarely ever play an overseas game, and when we do, it's going to be because we had to. The Jacksonville Jaguars gave up their home game to play the Cowboys. We're willing to give up a sold out home game there and to go to London. But London is like a second home for Jacksonville. They play there so much. They're playing 2 times this year. So, the Cowboys even played at Jacksonville last year. We could have been in London, but obviously Jacksonville this time wanted to keep that money. And of course, we lost that damn Noah Brown pass there, drop by him, cost us that game. But the point is, it's all about the money. It's all about the numbers that you can bring into your stadium, and that's the kind of stuff that usually you can see why no one will ever take a Cowboy game and take it overseas. They want to keep that money in-house. No European games for the Cowboys this year. But I will say this, guys. This year there was no games in Mexico. No games in Mexico this year. Last year was San Francisco and the Arizona Cardinals. This year, the Mexico City Stadium is going through stadium renovations. But I will say this. Next time Mexico gets a game, I will almost guarantee you guys it will be the Dallas Cowboys. It's going to have to come soon, and what better place to do it than in Mexico? That'd be the best place to go. And again, next year the Cowboys have that 9th home game. Is that enough for Jerry Jones to say, let's go to our second home and go to Mexico City and play there with the fans that love us there? We're going to bring in a lot of money to there, a lot more exposure. Not that the Cowboys need that, but it really makes a difference to the fan base. So I think if I was going to be a guessing man here, I'd say next year in 2024, Mexico City Stadium is renovated and ready to go again. The NFL puts a game out there. Yeah, you're going to see the Cowboys have a real chance to be playing out there, representing that star in Mexico City. So, as I am rolling this down, guys, give me your last thoughts and comments. I do have to give major shout-outs to Brandon, James, Shea, and Skeptical Fan, guys. They dropped the love from above tonight here. The only guys that do it, and I appreciate you guys. Skeptical gave a gifted membership. Appreciate him. And a little $2 drop as well. And same thing with Brandon, James, Shea, dropping that $5 on it. let me fix that here. And actually, I'm going to put Brandon James on that board right now. And I'm going to talk about all the the games real quick, my personal opinion, and what I'm going to go through each one here and give you my thoughts on it. But first, let me. Usually, this is what I say. Hey, baby, take over and start. Go through some of the information. Now you guys have to wait for me. So Brandon James Shea up on that board. I got everybody in order. We're good to go there. I'll keep this up, the schedule up with us sitting here. The wife and I. The wife is out of commission for now. Let me look at the chat here real quick, and then I'm going to give a quick thought of what I think is going to happen for the Cowboys. Rolando Rodriguez, Azteca Aguilar, Cameron, Wayne Montgomery. What's up, bro? How you doing? Let me see. Azteca Aguilar, House Nelson in the house. Choctaw, Montana, appreciate you always here chilling with us. Jason Renfro in the house. Yes, the Wi-Fi was already gone when you got in here, Jason. Back to the bobbleheads. Yeah, we're gonna be going bobbleheads a lot sometimes here, and we got other pictures to put up. But right now, we're doing a quick one. It's again, if you missed the beginning, it's a little bit rougher tonight for us to get. That's why we started so late, but we had to make a video with the whole schedule and wanted to make sure we discuss this with you guys, give you all the info, the insight, the ins and outs. So let's see here. Now, good questions here coming up. I see Rolando Rodriguez saying, are the Cowboys wearing their Arctic white uniforms this year and their old school Thanksgiving ones? That's a good question. Those haven't been announced yet, but I would expect the Cowboys to use those throwback uniforms that we used on Thanksgiving at least once, probably on Thanksgiving against the Washington Commanders. That'd be a good one to do a throwback on. Classic throwback there and some classic rivalry. But the Arctic, for sure, the Cowboys wear the Arctic whites. The thing is, they'll have to. I wonder how they'll wear that helmet situation and do that helmet situation, and like we did last year, the white helmet, putting our new star on there rather than that white helmet for the throwbacks with just that only pure blue star. That's what we wore for our Thanksgiving game. But then when we went against Tennessee last year, the blue star was taken off the helmet, the white helmet, and our new star, the current star with the white trim around it, that was put on this one, and that looked really nice on the white helmet with the white, the Arctic white, icy white jerseys and uniforms. That was a nice look. I would love to see it again, and I'm positive the Cowboys not waste an opportunity to do that, because now they allow that second helmet, and the second helmet for the Cowboys allows us to make it basically a third helmet by taking the decal off of that solid blue 1960 star and putting on the current star on a white helmet. So that's on the white helmet, which is the throwback helmet, so to speak, not our silver ones, obviously. House Nelson here. He said Mozzie's gonna eat a turkey leg on Thanksgiving. Hell to the yeah. Chappelle Hannon here in the house. Much love to you. Appreciate you. Thomas Garrett said, I think the Jets also have 6. If I missed that, I apologize. I thought it was only 4, but all right, maybe 5. Easy work, says Chappelle. Thomas said that game in 2019, Dak threw for over 400 yards. That's right. That's true. Chris Plumage said, damn, we could be 3-6 by week 10. We'll go through it in a minute here. We'll go through it, Chris. House Nelson, if McCarthy offers any improvement at all, we'll be bullies. That's a big part of this offense. I think it's also the fact that we did so much for the defense. We solidify the defense. That's going to help the offense, and whatever McCarthy adds to it's going to help the offense even more. So those two, McCarthy and the elite consistent defense and McCarthy's tweaks, those two things can help the offense unbelievably, tremendously more than we were helped last year, and it would make the offense maybe not tremendously better, but it would make us better as an offense. And then you put it all together, woohoo, it could be real good. Of course, get yourself that special teams fixed up and get yourself Robbie Gold. Get the kicker thing settled already. Come on. I even said bring in Dalton Reisner, guard, formerly of Denver, one of the top guards still available on free agency. Get him in here. Get him in here, left guard, just in case. Azteca says for World Cup. Oh, it was for the World Cup renovation. Okay, for Mexico City. Thank you for that, Azteca. Rumored that it was be Cowboys and Steelers for next year. Interesting. At the Azteca City, Mexico City game. That would be great. I think that's the one place I don't mind the Cowboys going overseas, is going to Mexico City. Eric Black in the house. Let's go Cowboys. He said, Nation, shout out to the panel. Much love. You'll salute to the chat. We got 4 months, baby. Then it's on. Hell yeah. On like Donkey Kong. Eric, much love to you. One of our OGs. I remember on our first live stream, I think it was a Hall of Fame game, he was the first name that showed up in our panel 6 years ago. I don't forget, man. I don't forget. And it's still over there posted right now if you go and check it out. Let's see. So Eric Black said, "Let's go Cowboys Nation." Shout out to the panel and chat for much love. Estadio Azteca, said Thomas Garrett. That's the name of the Mexico City Stadium. Brandon James Shea said the Chiefs have 7 games on prime time, but so do the Cowboys. When you look at the Thanksgiving game, the Cowboys got that. We always listen. Cowboys always be on the same or more than the top team, always, because we are the top team, if you know what I mean. Azteca says, "Is there a reason why Cowboys don't ever wear their '94 jersey uniform?" That's a good question. I think Jerry just retired that. I don't know, but it would be nice to see those back. I mean, I own one of those jerseys, Emmitt Smith. I like those. Those are the big stars, right? The big stars on the shoulder. The Cowboys, they don't use them anymore. That's a great question. I would send a message to Jerry Jones, say, what the hell's going on? Mike Z in the place to be said, thoughts on preseason? It's more about I just said the traveling, traveling from Oxnard to Dallas for Jacksonville. And you're traveling from Oxnard, from Dallas back to Oxnard to practice for 2 days or 3 days. And you got to fly up to Seattle, get that preseason game done. Then from Seattle, you go back to Dallas and finish it against the Raiders. A lot of traveling for preseason. Just weird. I don't know. I'm not crazy about it. Stubby in the house said, "Hey, dude, share your wife." It's all right, man. She's all mine. She's all mine. I'm all hers. So sorry about that. Disappointment for you guys. Let me go through this schedule one last time here in the sense of my thoughts on per game. I'm going to give a quick thought process. I'm going to give you like my quick thought, I guess, of wins or losses. I guess I can give it to you as I go through it. And we'll call it a night here, guys. And we'll call it a night. So let's go through it. Giants, week 1. Again, in New York. Giants are improved. Sunday Night Football. We always own the Giants, though. That's a fact there. And I think the Giants, even though they've improved, still week 1. Cowboys are more. I think the Cowboys at our defense are going to be able to handle anything the Giants throw at us. Now, it might be a little close there. Cowboys win that first game in New York in a tougher game than people may think. I'm going to leave it at that. Now, that next game in Dallas against the New York Jets. Listen, there's no way in hell we should be scared of Aaron Rodgers. I know he's scary, but we should not be scared of him, in my opinion. The Cowboys should win this game. I think we're a more complete team than the Jets. They got some up-and-coming guys. They got some I know they're ranked really high. It's going to be a tough game as well. I just think there's something about this. It's time for the Cowboys to win. Brady went to another team, and we finally took care of him, and that took that issue away. Let's do the same thing with Aaron Rodgers and get rid of that issue when he's with his new team. Week 3 against the Cardinals. Listen, Kyler Murray's I don't even know if he's going to be ready to go yet. Whether he is or isn't, I don't really care. We will beat the Cardinals, even on the road in Arizona. And trust me, their fans, they ain't that loud. More Cowboy fans in that game than Cardinal fans. Week 4 at home against the Patriots, Belichick. It's not as scary as it used to be, right? Still, when I see the Patriots come to town, I want to beat their living ass. I want to beat the living shit out of them because, they got too many Super Bowls. And so I just want to see Belichick get handled, but you can never overlook Belichick. I don't care if they got a crappy team, and he will get them playing up to whoever they play every week. So got to be careful. But I think the Cowboys, they'll go 4 games. Those first 4 games, we may lose one, maybe the Jets, and I don't think that's going to happen. Out of those first 4 games, the Jets probably the toughest one. I think we go 4-0. Now, let's go to the bye here. Before we get to the bye, we got 2 games that are tough-ass games at San Francisco and at the Chargers. Now, the Niner game, I would love to say let's get the revenge win here. And listen, I know we can beat the Niners. But I can't say the Cowboys are going to go undefeated this year. So I'm going to take the L there. A close game. And I think it's going to show us, okay, we didn't get the revenge yet, but if we meet them in the playoffs, we will definitely beat them in the playoffs. And that'll be that. That'll be that monkey off our back. Week 6 against the Chargers. I cannot see the Cowboys losing that game. I know everyone's saying that's a tough game. When I see Kellen Moore on one sideline, I see Dan Quinn on the other sideline, I don't give a good goddamn who's on the field. Dan Quinn, the Cowboys beat Kellen Moore and the Chargers on Monday Night Football. Bye week after that. Right now, we're like 4-2 in my book at the worst. 4-2 at the worst. 5-1 possibly. Bye week out the way, we get the Rams. We got an extra week to practice for them in Dallas. We should slaughter these fucking Rams. That's that. So we win. We beat the Rams early game. Week 9 against the Eagles, very tough. I'm not going to sit here and say we F Eagles, we're going to sweep them. I know we can sweep them. I'll give them this win. It's going to be a close game. You know it's always going to be close, but I'll give them this win. So we're what? 5-3 right now, more at worst, 5-3. Giants, week 10, in Dallas, in my big D. You know what that means? A big dub. Cowboys sweep the Giants. Dak the quarterback. That's 12 in a row for Dak. Listen, I know people are going to sleep on the Carolina Panthers. Oh, it's easy. It's not easy. They're going to try to run the ball. I will say this. They got a new quarterback. They're going to have to, they're going to have to do a lot of different, they're going to be a little bit of rebuilding-ish, even though it may feel like it's going to be tough, and it will be. They got a decent defense. They're going to have a good running game. They're going to lose to the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are going to go to Carolina. I remember we played them last time in Carolina. It was not a fun game. It was 16-8, I think. It was a kickoff game against Cam Newton. This time, I think we're going to show their number one draft pick about elite defense in the NFL. So yeah, we're winning that game too. And now we got to go 4 games, switch it up. And unless the Commanders are like the best team in the NFC, they ain't gonna beat us on this quick switch off. I don't know if they got a bye week that week or if they play another 4-day break. They only have 4 days between playing us or not. I don't know what Washington's situation is, but in Dallas, Turkey Day, Thanksgiving, it's our day, and I do believe that unless the Washington Commanders are somehow by week 12, they're 10-1. All right, then it'd be a tough game. We're beating the Washington Commanders that week. Now I know you can't see that one up top. That's the Seattle Seahawks on that last row. But in Dallas on a Thursday night game and Thursday night football, unless they are unbelievable like Washington, that we will beat the Seattle Seahawks in Dallas. No diggity, no doubt. Give me 10 days of rest so we can pluck these motherfucking Eagles. That's what's happening on that Sunday night football game against Philly, whatever game that is there. We are taking them down in Dallas, and we're going to do it on national television. So that's going to me, right here, after that Philly game in Week 9, when we take the L in my book here, I don't see another loss here. I don't see another loss for the next 5 games. Plain and simple. Now you go to the last 4 games, it's definitely a lot tougher. At Buffalo, listen, it's going to be snowing. Cowboys can ride with anybody, don't get me wrong, but that's probably an L. The Dolphins, they're good. Don't get me wrong, they are good, but now you're in the kind of weather the Cowboys like, and we're okay there in December. It's going to be nice. The Cowboys gonna skin a Dolphin there. I think we'll be okay with our defense holding it down, and then back home to Dallas, a Saturday night game. By the way, we're doing a little Christmas Eve early there against the Dolphins. Come back home 6 days later and play the Detroit Lions on Saturday Night Football, or 5 days later, I guess. So, again, guys, I think that's going to be a tougher game than many people may think. But we will beat them. We are a more complete team, a more complete defense. We're beating the Lions that week. And, again, the only way we lose to Washington the last game is if we have nothing to play for. So, when I look at this, guys, and again, there are some tough stretches. Don't get me wrong. There's some games that we're probably going to lose that I think we should win, and some games we're going to win that I thought maybe we should lose. But either way, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 games at most that the Cowboys are going to. I see a Cowboy 12. Look, worst case. I mean, Micah gets injured. Knock on wood, that won't happen. We lose a couple guys for a little bit of time. Shit, 11 wins, guys. 11-6. It should not be lower than that. I would vomit if it's lower than that, or someone must have really gotten hurt. If we get 10, if we're 10-7, something happened. If we're 10-7, something happened to some of our best players on this team. It's not that we just suck. Dak got hurt. Micah got hurt. If we're 10 wins or worse, 11 wins. Micah's wearing that number. That should be I'm sorry, I said 10 wins. 10-7 if someone got hurt. 11 wins is the worst we should do. That's worst case scenario. We're 11-6. I think the realistic scenario is 12-5. And I think that we definitely can go 13-4. Now, I'm not going to bet on that, but I think if I'm looking between 11 wins and 13 wins, I'm going to settle with 12 for a realistic, production here by our Dallas Cowboys. So to me, no more than 13 wins, but no less than 11. And if we get to 10, someone broke their fucking leg. That's all I want to say. Let me see what you guys think. Let me see. Eric said, I'm ready for these Philly and San Francisco games. We're all talking crap. Listen, agreed. The Niners, the Eagles, they're going to, listen, we're not going to win all those games. We're not going to beat the Eagles twice and the Niners. But we're going to make sure they remember our name. And we're going to beat at least one, if not two of those games. We're going to win. So, I feel good about it. I'm not going to be delusional, but I do feel really good about getting some revenge. The Eagles and especially the Niners, but both these teams need to pay the price. Cue ball in the house. What is up? Thomas Garrett, we should beat the Jets. And I agree. There's always that Aaron Rodgers factor, right? Eric Black said 13-4 to the playoffs. We're going to come with the smoke for anybody who wants it. If we're 13-4, I believe we're the number one seed in the NFC. If we're 13-4, we get in that first round bye, baby, and 2 steps away from the Super Bowl. Stubby said, yeah, I always got good feelings. Well, this year definitely got good feelings about the Cowboys. Yep, Eagle fans are a bit of assholes. Jason Renfro said, love in the Cash App, and let's check that. If that is accurate, and it is, I don't see love in the Cash App. But thank you, Jason. I guess try it again. I don't think it went through all the way, brother. Jason said 14-3, no less than 13-4. He's going real hard there. Listen, I can't say you're wrong about that. I just think that it may be. I'm trying not to overstretch it here. I'm trying not to sit here and say, the Cowboys are going to win every game pretty much. 3 losses in a 17-game season is incredible. 4 losses is unbelievable. 12-5 is fantastic, and we've had 12-5 last year. We can still. I believe 12-5 is what I feel like in my chest. Like I feel that the Cowboys, that's my expectation. But I do also feel like if we're 13-4 and we're rolling like I think we could roll, 13-4 is my expectation. if we're consistent, 13-4 or better is my expectation. I can feel that with Jason right there. Stubby said, how much of an impact does Deuce have this year? If McCarthy uses him the right way, he'll have a big impact. He will in the West Coast style offense. Him out of the backfield catching the passes. Hell yeah. Those games are going to be crazy, Eric. You know it. Jason said Deuce is going to be an X factor in a lot of our games. He will be, but I think we got to be aware that you're not going to see when the game is hanging in the balance. I don't think Deuce Vaughn is going to be the guy in the field. It's going to be Tony Pollard for now, right? So we'll have to wait and see. Eric Black said, "I'm telling you, you gotta come with the ether and have a breakout season." Mozzie and Turpin. I do feel like Fehoko gets on the field, we're going to see Troy Polamalu 2.0. Well, again, Fehoko on the field, you're going to see the defensive 3-tech Polamalu. You're not going to see the Polamalu was a safety, so obviously. But I hear you, man. But I think Fehoko is going to be working not the edge. He's going to be working the 3-tech spot. Keep that in mind. Stubby say 11 wins and it would be incredible. Again, 11, the minimal. The Cowboys win 10 games or less. That means the Cowboys had a shitty fucking season and someone got hurt. Thomas Garrett said, I'm still saying 12-5 or 13-4. That's kind of where I'm mainly at. 11 would be disappointing to me. But if there was some stumbles, some issues, a little injury here and there, Dak getting injured, we still were 12-5. So I'm just saying, I think that even with a little trip up, we could still be 12-5 or 13-4, like Thomas is saying. Rolando Rodriguez at Vegas had the Cowboys winning 9.5 games. I hope it's 12 games. Go Cowboys. Hell yeah. Listen, 12 or more. Last year they said it would be 9. We had 12, right? So, and if you count the playoff win, 13. Cactus G said, everything depends on what McCarthy does with the O. If you make things better, they'll get 14 wins. If not, there's no telling. Scorpio said 17-0, undefeated. Hell yeah. He wants to smoke. Eric said, that's asking about a lot, but I don't disagree. As long as we go 20-0. 17-0, I don't care. If you're going to go 17-0, let's go 20-0. And let's do it right. Cactus, I'm going to send it with this one last thing. I will say I agree with McCarthy on the offensive side of things. The defense being better, being more elite, is going to create better field position for the Cowboys offense because of the defense. But also, if the offense got a punt, it's about field position for the defense. So they got to help each other. If the Cowboy defense plays consistently elite, which I believe they should have already, I believe they will. Consistent and elite play. If you have that from the defense, you will help the offense incredibly. You'll give the Cowboys offense short fields. You'll get the Cowboy offense confidence. When they drive down, don't score, you punt it. Okay, you cough and kick it. You cough and corner it. And you get them on the fucking 2-yard line. And then you get the defense to do the work. This is going to be a defensive-led team. This is going to be the identity. So if the defense is doing their thing, the offense is going to benefit from that. Short fields, confidence, and I do believe and that's not going to be enough, right? Kellen Moore, that's great, but we're going to win 12 games, get bounced. It's about how you use the key. Okay, you can all these things are great, but if you add that tweak we need from McCarthy to get the West Coast offense on the same page with all these players, improves everybody's play across the board on offense. The offensive linemen don't have to block as long. The running backs, will be catching the ball out the backfield. You'll have 13 personnel or 11 personnel, but you're going to have 3 tight ends or 3 receivers that in the game you can do a lot running or passing with that. And Dak Prescott, if they use him right, roll him out, play action, up tempo. You do these things for Dak, you will have the West Coast offense you've been dreaming about. You'll be getting 20, 30 points a game easy on offense on top of whatever the defense gives you. I believe that's what you can get through a Mike McCarthy West Coast styled offense with Dak Prescott as the quarterback. Anyways, I've spoken enough. Scorpio said, if our defense is the real deal, we can hold any team for a win. Just need our offense to step up. Exactly. So this all goes the same line. We can do enough. All this stuff with defense was going to help the offense, but we have that already, right? If we have more of that because they're more consistent, that's great too. But the difference maker is going to be where's the tweaks on offense that's going to push us not all the way to the top offense, but just a little push. A little more push than we had last year, and that defense elite, there's no telling what the limit is. The sky is definitely the limit for our team, in my opinion. So Eric Black said, I'm playing it to their strengths and weaknesses. That's why I say 13-4, because the team knows each other pretty well. But how well do they know McCarthy for being the play caller? Time will tell. It's a very good point. And again, I think that it's only a 30 to 35% change at most. West Coast influence, West Coast style influence, up to McCarthy to install it, teach it, and call it. That's what he's going to do. Install it, teach it, call it. McCarthy does that. He's done great with that in his past. I don't think this will be any different. So even if he's just good, even if he's just better than Kellen Moore, that means that's a win for the Cowboys. That means this offense will be a little better, and that's maybe all we need. Just a little better. We don't need to be great. A little better offense and great defense, that's enough. And the offense, well, against certain teams, you're going to see the offense put up bigger numbers than, against the crappier teams, let's say. So let me see here. Scorpio said 13-4 is more realistic. If our defense can hold teams to very low scoring, we can go undefeated. If our offense can get 30 or more points a game. You said it. You know it, Scorpio. Scorpio said, I see our offense, our only weakness. Mozzie will help the defense in the middle. And in turn, helping Mozzie's going to help everybody in the middle. He's going to help everybody by helping the middle. He's going to help the pass rush. He's going to help the coverage. He's going to help the linebackers, whether it's covering their gaps or covering in a play-action play where they got to drop back in depth coverage. That's all Mozzie's going to help all of this. People don't understand what kind of an impact. Mozzie's going to get no stats, but everybody else can get more stats. And that's going to be the difference maker in that when it comes to the Mozzie Smith pick. So hell yeah. Jason Renfro, how is it we play back-to-back New York teams beginning of the season? Yeah, well, there's 2 of them out there, so I guess there's a chance. Either way, guys, thank you once again. This is a wrap. I hope you enjoyed this, this post-schedule release live stream here with the wife and I. I know we had a couple drops in here. We had a lot of drops of knowledge, though, in the chat. But we had drops from Skeptical Fan with the 5 on it for a gifted membership, a $2 holler, and of course Brandon James with the 5 on it. Truly can't do this without your guys' love and support. Thank you on that side of things. Thank you to the sponsor of the week, and you know his name. Say it loud, Mr. Stewart. First time ever as our sponsor of the week, and man, he came in here took it over with a bang, because it's not just there. He's also got the Cash App crown on that head. It's Mr. Stewart won the Cash App, took it away from the Jason Renfro's domination. So Mr. Stewart's taking it over, but right now, as we speak, Jason Renfro is the leader in the Cash App as we speak right now. So much love to him. I think he's got 5+ in there, so he's sitting nice. He's got a little lead in there. Appreciate Mr. Jason Renfro on that side of things. Marco Seppian got 83 points on that stream boss. He was at the top of that thing. Now he's down a little bit. Still controlling that for over 10 weeks of that stream boss. It said Mark's name up there in some shape, form, or fashion. And last but never least, the overall board right now. Skeptical Fan leading the way right now over Jason Renfro and over Mark Hovsepian. Skeptical Fan, who almost had it last week, currently in first place on this overall board. He's also first place on the gifted memberships. I think he's got 14 gifted memberships here. Scorpio has one. But man, Skeptical Fan is the dominator. That's for the whole month. So we'll keep track of that. And again, much love to Skeptical Fan leading the board here on multiple different areas. So again, thank you guys for your drops of love, your support, your drops of knowledge in the chat. I pretty much shouted everybody out. Let me see here. Almost shouted everybody. I'm going to just read the last couple of comments here. Rolando Rodriguez, much love in the house. He said, the new offense changing all the signal. Is the new offense changing the signal calls? No, the language will be the same or very similar. So that's good news there, Rolando. Everyone's going to understand the language. The plays are going to be altered some. And, of course, it'll be about 30 to 35% change. I don't know about in verbiage. I guess some of it would be. But mainly, if it's a new play, it's going to be a different word, I'm sure. But for the most part, it's going to be the same system, the same vocabulary. So the offense is not really changing the signals there on that side. So good question there, Rolando. Scorpio said, I've seen the NFL tape on Micah. You can see the biggest issue is in the middle. We got Gilmore in coverage back there. Hell yeah, guys. Ball hawking. You got coverage. You got pass rush. All you got to do is stop the run. And Mozzie's going to do that. Mozzie's going to help stop the run with Hankins, as Eric Black said here. But it's not just there. It's not just, Eric Black said Mozzie and Hankins along with Armstrong and Bohanna. Gilmore is going to be scary. Now, Gallimore is on the way out, and so is Bohanna. I think those two guys are in danger of losing their spots there, Eric, so I disagree. But I do like Mozzie and Hankins stopping the run, and when they're there, LV and Damone Clark, guess what they don't have to do? They don't have to worry about covering their gap runs when it's play action. They can focus on coverage and set the right depth when there's a play action play. They can take an extra second to see if it's a run or not before they have to attack, because those gaps for the run lanes will not be open, at least not the first 2 seconds of the play, which gives LV and Damone Clark a chance to see if it's a pass or a run, and they don't have to worry about getting into that hole real quick. Mozzie helps the run stop, and he helps the pass as well, as I just said. So, yeah, that's the Eric Black, that's the Mozzie and Hankins, duo there. Inside on pass rushing downs, you got Osa, you got Dorrance Armstrong, and you got DeMarcus Lawrence from the 3-tech, 1-tech interior pass rush. Run stop, it's Mozzie and Hankins. I think Osa's going to get a little less snaps, and I think Gallimore is on the way out. Bohanna, I think he's going to have trouble getting in there. He gets pushed back too easily. Eric Black, Scorpio, he said the second weakness on defense was pass blocking. Now we have now we have Gallimore. We should be. I'm sorry, not Gallimore. We have Gilmore. We should lock down with Diggs. I agree. Much love, Eric. Appreciate you. I will say that, man. Till tomorrow, Eric. Peace out. Have a good one. Pioneer in the house. What is up? Go Cowboys, America, and football. You know the deal. Scorpio, Osa bulked up too. Osa going to be a monster. I want to see it. But it's going to be Osa, Bohanna, and Gallimore fighting it out. For maybe two spots, maybe one spot. Osa's winning it. I don't know about Bohanna. I don't know about Gallimore. They're on the edge of falling off the Cowboys, in my opinion. Guys, we had a great one again here. Longer than I thought. I'm soloing it tonight, but we should be back tomorrow for Fan Friday. Hell yeah, guys, we'll be here. The wife will be here. We'll probably be on camera either on Friday or Sunday. We'll be back here with our caricatures or on here live with our faces and all. Either way, we'll be rocking it again at least twice this weekend here. Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. We'll be going twice, guys. Probably Friday and Sunday. So keep it locked in here on My Cowboys Family. Or you never know. It might be all 3 nights. That's how we do sometimes. Guys, thank you for rocking with us in the chat. Dropping your knowledge, your love from above. We can't do this without your love and support. But why do we do this each and every night? It's about that navy blue, silver too, and that star over everything. Everything, guys. That star is always the number one thing. Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. Here at MCF, we're always repping that star over everything. And here for almost 6 years and beyond on YouTube, My Cowboys Family, we're still doing it, guys, on the nightly. Trying to do it on the nightly every single day and night. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, Go Cowboys! Let's get that 6 and beyond. Thank you all for rocking and dropping that knowledge, your comments, your thoughts all night long. Hey, Scorpio, I said the preseason schedule already. We were home against Jacksonville, at Seattle, and then back home against the Vegas Raiders. We're going from Oxnard training camp back to Dallas, then back to Oxnard, then up to Seattle, then back to Dallas. It's crazy. We talked about it earlier. Go and check it out. If you missed it, go Cowboys. You know the deal, family. Great conversation tonight about the mainly, almost 100% of this was on that schedule you see right next to my head. We'll talk about this tomorrow on Fan Friday with the wife and with you guys, and of course talk about more, but that's tomorrow. All good things must come to an end. You guys dropping the knowledge all night long. Thank you. Truly humbled by those that continue to drop the love and the support here for what we do here on the nightly on My Cowboys Family. Really can't do this for as long as we do every day without your love and support. Membership, super chats, cash apps, Venmo, PayPal, on and on and on. You know what the deal is. Gifting, memberships, all that good stuff, guys. Truly thank you. On that note, all good things must come to an end. Time to clock out and drop out of here with the wife. You can see her. She's kind of already dropped out doing her Twitch streaming right now with that new game, Zelda. Check it out over there if you haven't yet. But guys, thank you all. All good things coming to an end. We're closing it out tonight before we can drop out, relock, reload for a Fan Friday tomorrow. And all those silver level membership shout outs. Never forget the number one thing right here, My Cowboys Family. As always, if we can drop out of here for the night, as the wife always says, what do we gotta do before we drop out of here, guys? We gotta drop the beat. Woo! The beat's been dropped. I look crazy with my mouth open like that. Guys, thank you again. Thank you all for dropping the knowledge, the love, all the above. As we talked about our schedule and more. The wife's wearing number 4. I got the MCF. We're always repping that star, guys. Thank you once again. Go Cowboys. You know the deal. Beat's been dropped. It's time to beat up some of these teams this year, right? Especially those Eagles, those Niners, and more. Guys, we'll talk about this again tomorrow. Fan Friday and more. Appreciate you all, guys. The wife is gone. Look at her. She's gone. Thank you all here as we finish this up here. A little finale to our video. Guys, we'll see you back tomorrow. Stay safe, everyone. Truly stay safe. Much love to all. Never forget the number one thing right here, My Cowboys Family. Go Cowboys! Woo!